Mr. Speaker, the same is also true as the Premier tries to wiggle out of commitments he made concerning campaign finance reform. I was disappointed to hear in the throne speech that government will continue to kick this issue down the road by putting forward a discussion document on campaign finance reform. It would be so much easier to simply do the right thing, which is introducing legislation that will fulfill the Premier's original commitment. In May of 2016, the Premier stood in this House and promised to table legislation that would ban corporate and union donations. But instead of following through on his promise, in December of 2016, he announced that he had reconsidered the issue and would not be banning corporate and union donations. This must have been yet another one of the Premier's famous executive decisions. And he made this decision in spite of the fact that a ban is clearly the future of political financing. The federal government, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Quebec, Manitoba, Alberta, and very soon British Columbia will have legislation to ban corporate and union donations. It's coming, and we better do it now. The Green Party strongly believes that these types of donations have a corrupting influence. I cannot accept that it is merely a coincidence that some of the biggest donations to the two largest political parties on PEI come from construction companies, accounting firms, legal firms, as I referenced in my questions and question period today, and telecommunication companies. The one thing these donors have in common is that they are businesses that either receive millions of dollars in government contracts or they are regulated by government. Yet the Premier expects us to believe that his change of heart is because he is, and I quote, concerned that this may limit legitimate political participation by those who have a real interest in our province and its democratic process. Well, I can't help but speculate that these corporations' real interest in our province and democratic processes relates more to a desire to influence government in their favor than to encourage thriving policy discussions that will benefit all islanders. But it is not just corporate donations that concern us. During the last election, a full 39% of political donations made to the New Democratic Party came from unions. We in the Green Party strongly support labour rights. Indeed, my only legislative initiative for this sitting is a bill that will provide whistleblowing protection for all workers on Prince Edward Island. However, I grow concerned when a party becomes that indebted to organise labour for its very existence. Could an NDP government, for example, enter difficult negotiations with civil servant unions, knowing how dependent they are on those union donations? Could they still put the public interest ahead of their party and the unions that support it? The Green Party believes that no matter how hard you may try to separate party financing from public policy, the interests of one can never be fully disentangled from the other. Therefore, it is better to completely remove that temptation and any appearance of impropriety. For these reasons, the Green Party only accepts donations from individuals. We do not accept money from either corporations or unions, and we believe that all parties should be required to do the same.